hearts for so long and caused them so much anguish and discomfort, because that's the saddest part about unforgiveness, is that we think that it's punishing the other person or the other people, but in reality, we are handcuffing ourselves, and we are causing ourselves tremendous anguish, and you deserve to be free. You deserve to be free. You know, about a week and a half ago, I found out that a group was meeting at a hospital here in the GTA, a group on chronic fatigue syndrome, a support group for chronic fatigue syndrome. And I called up the leader of the group and I asked her if I could speak for just 10 minutes to the group. And she said to me, well, we're a support group for chronic fatigue syndrome. What does forgiveness have to do with our group? And I said, it has everything to do with your group. And she said, well, why? We're here to help support people who have this chronic condition, help them manage this condition. And I said, well, I'm here to help liberate them from their condition. Give me 10 minutes. And we got into this, back and forth, and eventually she said, well, come to the group, and if we have a few minutes at the end of the group, then I'll let you speak, maybe 5-10 minutes at best. So I said, I appreciate that. I showed up there, and it got to the end of the group, and I spoke to them for about 7.5 minutes on the topic of unforgiveness, going through a formula with them on how to achieve forgiveness. And guys, my friends, at the end of the talk, almost every one of them came to me one by one in tears, telling me how my words on unforgiveness struck to the core of their hearts, and how my words spoke to the epic narrative of their lives, and how it spoke to the epic pain and anguish of their lives. And it was no surprise to me. Unforgiveness is the roots of so many illnesses and so many ailments and so many chronic conditions. It's ravaging the world. I look at my own family, guys, and I see that unforgiveness is ravaging my own family. It's ravaging other people's families, my friends. It's ravaging the world, nations. I think it's the single biggest emotional epidemic that we face today, and therefore I am compelled to go around and speak about this. Am I above the laws of unforgiveness? Absolutely. The first step in my formula is express. Let's say you have a snake bite. The first thing you have to do is to get out the poison. Everybody knows that, or the wound cannot heal. And I often think people, they neglect this very important first step. Now, people are going to challenge me and say, well, you don't need to kick and scream. You don't need to, you don't need to do that. I say, let's acknowledge the fact that we're human beings, and I believe that you do need to kick and scream, and to somehow express the anger and resentment and rage and disgust that is inside of you and that might be lingering for years, decades at a time. How do you do this? How do you get it out? Well, you can do it by writing. Writing's a great release. You can do it by recording your voice, saying words that are trapped inside. You can actually confront the person. Should he or she be alive? Should they be alive? But I caution you to think very carefully about this, because sometimes by expressing it directly to the person, the repercussions can be even more devastating than the unforgiveness itself. Here's the kicker to it. There's a guy, there's an entity, there's a being, there's a force that is waiting for you to express your anger, your rage, and your disgust directly to him, and it's God. And I know God's not a popular word these days, but I'm here to tell you there is a God, and he wants you to come to him. His ears are open. He follows you 24/7 in a way that you can't understand or comprehend right now, but he suffers with you, he suffers for you, he suffers by himself. He wants you to come to him. So never, never lose sight of the fact that God is waiting for you to cry out to him. Step number 2, ask for the truth. You've often heard people say the truth will set you free, and never have more profound words been spoken. It is the truth that ultimately will set you free. It is the truth that will liberate you from the shackles of unforgiveness. The truth is love. Love is truth. God is truth. Ask him, my friends, ask him courageously for the truth, and you will get the truth. Ask him to show you the truth of the people that you are angry at, or the person you are angry at. Ask him to show him the truth of the circumstances that surround your unforgiveness, and ask him to show you for the truth of you. And what is your role in all of this? Step number 3 is receive. Now this is deceptively simple. How many times in life, if you look back on the narrative of your life, try to count how many times you've been offered wonderful, spectacular, extravagant gifts. How many times have you had opportunities? How many times have you had moments to advance yourself significantly in the arduous pursuit of your dreams, goals, and aspirations, but you weren't ready to receive them, and you turned them away. You resisted them. Not consciously, probably, but subconsciously, because the truth is, to receive a gift is not an easy thing, because to truly receive a gift from God, our heart has to be open. Okay, so but it's my feeling that once you've expressed yourself, you've gotten out the toxicity and the anger, once you've asked for the truth, you're now one step closer to receiving, but to receive, you have to open your arms and open your heart. And I tell you, if you do this, God will hit you with the truth. He will hit you with the truth of himself, the truth of love, the truth of your life. And once you get a glimpse of the truth, once it hits your heart, all of the unforgiveness falls apart very, very quickly. Trust me on that one. You know, it's very interesting, guys, that there's no word in Hebrew for brain. There's no word for brain. And that's because true understanding and true knowledge happens in your heart. That's the source of true understanding and true knowledge, and more specifically, it's in your soul. And so, to receive, your heart and your soul has to be open, and when it is, God will show you the truth. He will bless you richly, and you will finally rid yourself, break away from the shackles of unforgiveness. And I hope that you do, because you deserve it. You really do.